When it comes to really big images, big TVs are the way to go. They have excellent image quality, but after about 85 inches like this, they get insanely expensive. For home theaters, we've been using projectors like this one for years now, and they have awesome pictures, but they work best in the dark, and there's a couple of other downfalls that you'll see as well. That's why we're moving on to something called laser TV. Once you've had a laser TV, I gotta tell you, you're not gonna wanna go back. I mentioned that there are 3 downfalls of traditional projectors, and one of them you're seeing right now. I've got all the lights off, and really anything that gets in between the projector and the screen is going to cast a shadow on the screen. I can't actually, there it is, I can't actually see the camera unless I cover up the projector, because you're going to get blinded if you walk in front of this thing. It's just how it is. Not to mention the fact that having a projector that's many feet away, about 14 feet away in my case, from the screen, means that you've got to find a way to run power and an HDMI cable most likely to the projector. Now, I finished my basement myself, and so I ran a channel there knowing that that would be an issue, and so that actually works out great, but most of the time you don't have that luxury, or at least a lot of the time. Now, the second thing you'll notice is contrast. Whew, okay, check this out. Alexa, turn on basement lights. All right, you're gonna see that the picture just got super washed out. So a lot of your darks just aren't dark anymore. This is a nice screen. I've used some very specific projector material here that is decent quality, and then I've got a fantastic projector to produce an image on that. But you'll see that the difference between having the lights on and having the lights off is huge. You're going to lose your colors, you're going to lose your contrast, your darks won't be dark, and then the overall experience is just a lot worse when you've got the lights on. That right there is the third issue. I don't know if you can make that out, but it says, "It's time to replace your lamp. Please contact your Epson projector reseller or visit epson.com to purchase." And to me, that's pretty annoying because I don't want to have to pay for a new lamp every year or 2. And in fact, I've had this projector for less than 4 years now. It's been about 3.5 years. And in that time, after about 18 months, I got this message and it started to flicker and die, and I had to replace that lamp. And it cost anywhere from about $80 to $200. It's a little bit of a process. It's just maintenance that you don't want to have to deal with. And now here we are 3.5 years in, and I'm dealing with this again. All 3 of those issues that I just mentioned aren't really an issue when it comes to having a TV. This is an 85-inch TV, and it's one of the cheapest ones I could find. I paid $15.99 for this one, so it's a pretty good deal, and the image is stunning. It looks really good, but it's not the same as the higher-end TVs, but still looks fantastic. I did a quick search and tried to find out how much the cost is per diagonal inch of TV right now at the very bottom of the barrel, the cheapest TVs you can get. The biggest one I could find out there that's actually commercially available is 110 inches. That one costs $13,599, making it $123.62 per inch. Now, what if you want to go bigger than that? Well, it's really not an option as far as the consumer market right now. I can't go buy a 150-inch or a 123-inch TV. It's just not available at this time. Maybe it will be in the future, but projectors are really your only option at this point for a really large screen like that for a home theater. As I mentioned in the beginning, this is where laser TVs really shine. Now, the term laser TV is actually a bit of a misnomer because it's not a TV per se. This is actually made up of 2 components pretty much every time. You've got an ultra short throw projector right here, and that's one that sits really close to the screen. In fact, this one is maybe about 14 inches away from the screen, and it's currently projecting a 123-inch image up onto this screen, which uses a technology called ambient light rejection. This is super cool stuff. This is not a traditional projector screen. It has a little bit of cool cutting-edge technology built right in there that you can't really see with your naked eye. If we look up really close at this screen, you'll see that it's basically got a sawtooth pattern. So at the top of each little ridge, there's a little shelf or a ledge that's horizontal. What that does is that takes any light that's coming from overhead, and you'll notice I've got all the lights on in here right now, then it's going to actually just reflect that back up or just absorb that essentially, so that when you're sitting down, you're not going to see that, which is really cool. Now, on the other side, the bottom here, you've got this little ledge, and that's what's going to take the image from a lower light source like this, the projector, so anything that's shining up on it, and reflect that back at the viewer. It's pretty cool technology. And again, it's so finite and so small that you can't see any of this at all. This is rated for at least 4K, if not more, and this particular screen right here actually rejects over 90% of the light from overhead. Remember how I was talking about lamp life being an issue with my older projectors? Well, that's not an issue with laser projectors. This is really cool stuff. The lamp life on this one is rated for 20,000 hours. And if you're asking how much that is, just to kind of put that in perspective, you could play games and watch movies for 8 hours a day for 13 years in a row before you ran out of lamp life on this thing. So I don't think you're going to have to worry about it. That is pretty cool. You can see on this high quality white screen here exactly how bad this does with contrast during the day, especially compared to the ambient light rejecting Aeon CLR. It's really kind of a night and day difference here. So we've covered why a laser TV setup is superior in just about every way to a traditional projector and screen. And we've also addressed the fact that you'd pay like $2 gazillion to try to get a TV that's anywhere near this big. But why did I pick this particular projector and this particular screen? So not long ago, a couple of companies got together and they took 14 different laser TV setups, 14 different ultra short throw projectors, and pit them one against the other side by side, brought in a bunch of experts to try to say which one do you like best. And you guessed it, it's this one. Now you've probably never even heard of this brand. It's called 4Movie. And the actual model of the projector is called Theater. So it's 4Movie Theater as the brand and model of this particular setup. Now that said, this was pitted against LG, Samsung, Hisense, and a bunch of other brands, and this thing crushed them all. That's pretty cool. I was pretty impressed when I saw that. Now when I found out that 4Movie had the best rated ultra short throw projector available today, as confirmed by multiple experts, I reached out to them to see if I could get one of these projectors in my hands to try this out. So full transparency here, they did send this projector to me at no charge, and that's one of the things, you know, I shamelessly leverage as much as I can to try to get some free stuff when I'm doing these videos, because, you know, why wouldn't I? So the projector screen itself is from a company called Elite Screens. And if you've been on Amazon looking for screens, you've probably seen these guys. They're huge, they have branches all over the place, and they do an awesome job. So I worked with one of their professionals there to try to figure out what is the best screen that I can get to go with the 4Movie Theater projector. What's best for ultra short throw? And we talked about a few different things, but one of them was you want a fixed frame thing. You don't want something that's going to move in any way. You want it to be totally stationary and totally stable all the time. And then this little bezel does a couple of things. One, it kind of makes it look like a giant TV, which I think is really fun. And then two, it makes it so that there's a little bit of bleed area. So if the screen goes off onto that, it absorbs that light and keeps that nice crisp and sharp edge, which I love. The other thing that I love about this is, as you can see what's going on right behind me here, is it comes with a LED light kit, and that can be running constantly or turn it on or off, whatever you want. But it's a high-end set of LED strips that go back there, and you can put these things together yourself in just a couple of hours, and it looks really good when it's done. So this combination right here, in my opinion, is the ultimate setup that you can get for a laser TV. Because this projector as an ultra short throw is competing with traditional TVs, it's got all of the inputs and features that you would expect. So if you're wondering about price, the cost for this whole setup right here is about $5,500 right now. Now that is not cheap. I'll fully admit that is not in the same price range as a smaller TV, for example, but it's way better than anything you're going to get if you're trying to buy a 98 or 110-inch TV or anything like that. And it's got the image both during the day with the lights on and at night with the lights off. That's going to be better than just about anything you find out there. And that's why I love this setup. There are cheaper projectors out there that are ultra short throw. There are cheaper screens out there. But if you want the really good stuff, this is it. So I'll put links in the description below if you want to check those out. As I mentioned in the beginning, now that we've been using this setup for a little while, I am not going back. I don't need my projectors anymore, so I'm going to have a Epson Home Cinema 4010 for sale. It's really just no contest. This is the way to go. This particular video is one of many that we've done covering topics around home theater. So if you want to learn more about 4K projectors or home theater seating, building your own risers, or building your own screens even, you can check out my playlist right here to see more. I'm Nils with Learn to DIY. Thank you for watching.